To you, the saints, this sermon recap is for Proper 23, the year C, the year of Luke, preached at University Lutheran on October 13th, 2013. The text is Luke 17. And by the way, this week also the church commemorates St. Luke the Evangelist, and so it's a good time to be in Luke. Luke 17, 11 to 19, we pick up right where we left off from last week's Proper 22's text from Luke. On the way to Jerusalem, Jesus was going through the region between Samaria and Galilee. As he entered a village, 10 lepers approached him. Keeping their distance, they called out, saying, "Jesus, Master, have mercy on us." When Jesus saw them, he said to them, "Go and show yourselves to the priests." And as they went, they were made clean. Then one of them, when he saw that he was healed, turned back and praised God with a loud voice. He prostrated himself at Jesus' feet and thanked him, and he was a Samaritan. Then Jesus said, "Were not 10 made clean? But the other 9, where are they? Was none of them found to return and give praise to God except this foreigner?" And then Jesus said, "Get up and go your way. Your faith has made you well." This sermon was, this story, this happening in Luke 17, in some way Luke continues to gather up all these really major themes of his, and this one story, this one incident in Luke 17 was an occasion to kind of gather them up too. It's a stroke of genius in the storytelling of Luke, that the way he tells stories. And so yesterday's sermon for Proper 23 was simply kind of gathering up a lot of the things that Luke has been doing, that we've been doing. Luke chapter 9, there is in this one sentence that Jesus turns toward Jerusalem, and then connecting that with a verse in Luke 12, "Have no fear, little flock, for it's the Father's pleasure to give you the kingdom," leads us to this text in Luke 17. Luke doesn't trust our own memory in hearing the story, and so this is the third reminder since chapter 9 that Jesus is on his way to Jerusalem. So whatever else comes of the Gospel of Luke, whatever else we're going to say about Jesus, whatever else we're going to say, again, as Luke understands Jesus through the church through Jesus, whatever else we're going to say, it's always in the context of Jesus moving toward Jerusalem. It's always in the context, the bigger story of Jesus' death, life, death, resurrection, and ascension for Luke, and the creating of the church, the beginning of the church that is all those things. So Luke reminds us, by the way, remember, don't stray off the story. Don't wander too far away, because Jesus is on his way to Jerusalem. And so, of that one thing, have no fear. Of that one thing, as Jesus goes to Jerusalem, that the wake behind Jesus, the space behind Jesus, is wide and deep. That has been the first, last, and middle word of Luke. That the outsider and the outcast has been gathered and included in this Jesus. And so one commentator said that this one who turns to give thanks to Jesus and having been healed, again saved in Luke, that he understands a deeper healing that is inclusion in Luke. That this one was included in leprosy with all these 10, these other 9s, wasn't somehow distinguished as Samaritan. And he finds the same acceptance and inclusion in this Jesus who goes toward Jerusalem. So again, Luke puts on the lips of Jesus, "We're not other 9, and this one is a foreigner." It's the only time in the whole New Testament that word is used. And we know it from Josephus, the Jewish historian. It means one who is not able to go into the holy place. That's what the word means. And so Jesus says, look, the one who praises God, the one who turns and gives thanks, the one who turns and worships God and glorifies God, is one who hasn't been able to go into the holy place. As one who has been an outsider, now in this Jesus and in Jesus' saving and healing and cleansing, is now able to praise God and draw near to God. And so again, whatever else happens in Luke, as Jesus moves toward Jerusalem, first, last, middle, the outsider has been gathered in. Of that first thing, in this middle part of Luke, there is this conversation of faith. And so whatever, again, faith is, we tended to this last week in Proper 22, whatever else faith is, faith turns and sees God as central, as center, as source. And so this one turns back and praises God and thanks Jesus. That whatever else faith is in a turning, just as Jesus turns toward Jerusalem, faith turns toward God, and faith always turns and gives thanks. That one commentator said verse 15 is the very fulcrum of this text because it's the instruction to the church that when you see that you have been healed and saved and restored and forgiven and redeemed, you turn and give thanks. That's what we're supposed to hear of this one who returns. When he has seen that he has been cleansed, he turns back toward God and gives thanks and praises. And then again, as a repetition, that when the church hears that last verse, Jesus says, rise up, your faith has made you well, go, go, go. That there is a sense that in this one thing of Jesus turning toward Jerusalem, in this one thing, have no fear, little flock, for it's the Father's good pleasure to give you the kingdom. You recognize the very source of our healing and the very source of our faith, the very source of our hope, and we turn and give thanks, and then we turn back, realizing that we have been saved by this Jesus and healed by this Jesus, and we go look for another. That we make space and we bring another along in this Jesus who moves toward Jerusalem for the sake of our life, for the sake of our hope, for the sake of resurrection. Ended with a familiar hymn to some of us. It was actually a hymn used when I was on internship for confirmation. Have no fear, little flock, for it's the Father's good pleasure to give you the kingdom. Raise thanks above, for the Father delights. Grace to you and peace in all things. Be well.